Okay, so weaker dollar, weaker yields, stronger commodities. That's pretty much the play in terms of this 10-year yield here. We can look at this in two different ways. We can look at it from the low here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going up to wave 5. Or we can look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and we come much further down. Now, I won't know until this move down here completes, and even when it completes, I still need to see more price action over here. So we can expect a move down to, well, to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree as well in this particular case, but I'll just put that there for the time being. This is a weekly chart. So we've got a very nice 1, 2, 3 here, and I kind of like it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 situation. The reason for that is because wave 3's got really good form here. If it was corrective as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, then wave A and wave C would have some sort of equality and relationship in that regard, but it's not. It's got this really nice form here. I'm just going to go to the daily chart here for a moment. So yeah, we can look at it. We can look at it up as wave 3 or wave C. So we've been looking at it down here as wave A. And if this was in 3 waves, then that would make life very much easier. But wave A can be 3 waves or 5 waves for the wave 4 here. But we've actually got 5 waves here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down here. So that's not very helpful. We didn't get away with that. Sometimes we can, and then I could have called it wave 4 here, you know. So anyway, we've got the wave B here, and we can see that the market has moved down. I can see that there's a little 5-wave structure in here as well. So we should get a bump off the low here. That would just be natural and normal. And we can also see the indicators suggesting much the same as well. So that would give us 5 waves down here. Now, once we get the 5 waves down here, then I still won't know what if we're in a wave 4 or not. If we get, you know, this move up here as a corrective pattern, I might be able to, you know, note it as a corrective pattern. And if that's the case, then we'll come down here again, and that would give us more of a bearish count at that point. If we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, or it could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back. I just won't know until we get over here, and I can see what, you know, what it looks like over here. So I really won't know until. But we know the US dollar is going down. We know that the US dollar will bounce back as well, and it does look bearish. So there's a good case for wave C being here as well. So if I come to the US dollar here, I don't have 5 waves down here from the top just yet. This is a daily chart. So, and I'm assuming a few things. So I know that within this structure, because I could call that an A wave and a B wave here, but it's a little bit small compared to this leg here. So I've gone as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2, and then all the way down for wave 3 and 4 here, and down for 5 for 3, 4, and 5 here. So if we do get 5 waves down here, then we're likely to get a corrective pattern to come into play over here, and then down again at that point based on those 5 waves. And I'd expect that as a larger A, B, and C pattern coming down here. So I think that's the pathway. This can rally 61.8%. It could go, you know, 78.6% as well, or it could just come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So there's a whole lot to figure out at that point there. Markets don't like, you know, if they're going to be trending down, they don't like leaving this number. So probably won't go, because 1's the strongest number, it probably won't go too far to the upside. And that would give the indices, well, I should start with the other pairs. More so. So putting the euro and the cable and anything else in the opposite direction, and the other direction, the FX really follows the, will be in line with the indices and also the stocks as well. And the stocks are driven by commodities as well. I mean, especially where I am in Australia, we've just got commodities and housing. So we've got the house and the backyard. That's about it. So that's where that is. So this still needs to come down further. I won't go into a lot of detail here. It's going to get pretty, as I mentioned, it'll get pretty bouncy going through 1, 2, and 3 here. But it still has further to move down. Okay, over to the metals. We'll look at US spot gold, silver, and then we'll look at copper and nickel. And for uranium and lithium, I've sort of prefer to go to the stocks for that, or even ETFs, and then oil and gas. So, yeah, well, we're pushing up quite nicely here. This is a monthly chart, so it's got quite a bigger picture here. So there's a couple of things that are going on here in a way in terms of, well, in Elliott, we can just see that, we've been working through this correction for a long time, and we're looking for 5 waves up here. Now, the extensions in the third wave, so wave 1 and wave 5, can be sort of roughly the same. So when I use the trading levels, this is a major trading level 2 here, and group 1 is the next thing, which will be 20, 21, 22, and 23. So normally this would come up into that particular space, and then sort of retest this particular number. So what I normally look for at a level is this type of pattern here. Oops, Daisy, just pull that out of the way. So it's kind of interesting in that when we do look at this particular pattern, that we've got the arrival here, then the reaction, and the first high above the level. So we've got kind of 2 of these going on really. So if I can just move that out the way for a moment, because over here we've got the arrival here, the reaction here, and then we've got the first high above the level coming in here, which is normally 5 waves. So in a way we've got the arrival here, which would be this one over here, the reaction and the first high above the level, and this is normally in 5 waves here. So we've got the arrival, the reaction, and then we've got the 5 waves up here. But also too, we've got a smaller classic trading levels pattern in here as well, where we've got the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, and then the 5 waves moving up through here. So yeah, my guess is that we'll look for 5 waves up into the 2,200, 2,300 into that particular area. Is it possible that the market can continue and continue to move up here? Yeah, they can run away like that as well, especially when there's a big correction behind it like this. And there's a good possibility that, when I look at GDX and so on, it's possible to count this up as a wave 1 here and a 2, and then a 1 and a 2. So it's possible for that. I mean, I expect gold to continue to move up. I mean, that's what it does. So yeah, I mean, our job really has been to find the low and to look for 5 waves to the upside. So let's go in and do that. So on the, let's just have a look at the weekly chart here for a moment. So yeah, so we've got 2000, which is major trading level 2, and then we've got 1, 2, and 3 here. So it kind of normally finishes up here. So I kind of look for that. So we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 in here now, and we can obviously see this is really cranking up and increasing volume and so on. So we'll look at all of this being the 3rd wave coming into here, and a 4th and a 5th moving up into that space. So I'm moving in here a little bit closer onto the daily chart. We can look at it like this with wave 1 here, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. And we'll take a closer look at this in a moment, but 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, the 4th wave pulling back, and then the 5th wave up here somewhere. This could probably even go higher up here actually, but we'll just keep a bit of an eye on that. But yeah, it's still trending to the upside. So we're going to look at 20k, and yeah, I got another count in 10k where it's a bit more bullish, where it just continues to move up. I won't go into that today. We'll just go to, so we're going to look from the low down here. We're going to look at this as an impulse wave for wave 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then we're going up to the third wave here. So it'll be 1 between 2 and 3 here. We'll be looking for 1 in blue, 2 in blue, and then 3 in blue, 4, 5 for 3, and then 4 here, and then up for wave 5, which I don't have there, of wave 3. So that's really where we are, and from 2 to 3 here we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish this third wave off, and then the fourth wave, and then the fifth wave, and then the fourth, and then up for the fifth of the larger wave 3 up here. So that's where that is at the moment. I don't know if I've got anything on the 1,000 tick chart here. I know I cleaned it off, ready to clean it again. So that's that in a nutshell, and this is silver here. So I won't change this count. I'll just keep it as it is, as 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and then we still need to push up further up here. So I've got that moving up as wave 1 here, but yeah, last time we spoke we were looking at, just clean a few things up here. So last time we spoke, we were looking at wave 4 here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and then looking for the ABC back, which we've got, and then we can look at this as an impulse wave here and a corrective wave. So we will take out the top there, but I can also see that this is corrective as well here. So we can look at this being wave 1 and wave 2 in here. So we can expect that to continue to move higher through here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 and 2 here. So we've still got a bit of distance to go to the upside for all of this as well here. So we'll expect to see this. There will be problems at the $25 mark rather. This is a CFD product, so yeah, so continuing to move up, but I may need to recount this here in a slightly different manner, but yeah, that's where we are with silver at the moment. Okay, so over to nickel. We've been looking from this low here as wave 1 or wave A, wave 2 or wave B, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and going up for 5. So we can look at as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for the larger B wave here. If that's the case, we'll come down for a C wave here. I find that a bit tricky to sort of see this market down here. I mean, anything is possible, of course, but we're seeing very strong commodities with copper, and lithium's just starting to find its feet again and push up. There might be some more lows in some stocks, but we're kind of getting to that point where, we're seeing iron ore run. So steel, I mean, obviously copper is Dr. Copper and it's in kind of everything, but they need to build things, and so iron ore is just as sort of central, and we're seeing that in a very strong way. So we should see all the others tag along in this bullish market. So it's possible to look at it as an ABC, because if we're going to be bullish, we need to understand, is there a bearish count? Is there a valid bearish count? And, so there is at the moment, and is there other ways to count this up? I mean, I've got it as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here that can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. The 38.2% retracement level for this wave 2 is much higher. So it's up here for this. So It's probably, I can get away with this for a little bit as a wave 4 here, but it's actually pulling back, into, this is the 61.8% here. So it's probably more likely, if we look at this in a slightly different way, and we could look, if we're going to look at it as being bullish, we could look at it as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. And we could put, I'll just copy this for a moment and leave everything as it is, as wave 1 up here, and then coming back for wave 2 over here. So we're in, that sort of gives it a much more bullish picture in this case. So that's quite possible at this point. When I look at this particular pattern here so far, let me just remove this. When I look at this so far here, the A wave here, not a problem. The B wave here, this move down through here is a little bit dog-legged. I could put wave C here, and I could put wave 2 here, and I could put wave 4 at this particular point. But this little dog leg in here is sort of throwing me out a little bit. I don't have the most perfect impulse wave here, so I'm a little bit unsure about this situation. If that top goes out here, then it's probably likely that we'll head up higher, but I'm just not quite sure about this just here yet, so I'll just monitor it over the next few sessions. I mean, it is a nice classic trading levels pattern at this area here, where we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern. So coming back to my favorite thing here with the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC here. So if we get back on this level, the main level here, then we're good to go. But we want to try to catch it a bit down here. But it's just gone a little bit wonky in here, and I'm not that sure about it. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC. So it's all looking quite good. It's just got a little bit wonky in here. If I had a nice 5 waves down here, that would have given me a little bit more confidence. So I could probably look at this as, as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here with some sort of ABC. So if that top goes out, then it's likely we're going to go further up at that point, So bear that in mind. I just haven't wrapped my head around this situation in here just yet. So I'm not sure. We could certainly come down. We'll just monitor it for a little bit. And this is copper here, this US copper. So yeah, we've been sort of taking a bit of a bullish stance on this. And we've got it as 1 or A on 2 and B, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2. And then this third wave is really strongly pushed off, isn't it, So we're looking for a 4th and a 5th up here. This whole trend here is quite strong, so it's not likely to be a C wave. It's more likely to be wave 3. So we'll just it's really dancing across this level, and it should come back and check it. We'll see how that goes, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to move to the upside here, so still further up. So copper stocks still got higher to go. So that's all good news there. And before we go to the energy sector, we want to have a look at, where's my chart? We want to have a look at, I'll have a look at uranium first, which I've really just been looking at one of our stocks in Australia for that. So I'm just going to continue with that. That was PDN here, somewhere down here. Must be further down. Probably staring at it. There it is. So we were looking at it in terms of, the ETFs are the same as well with this. I think this is one of them here. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But yeah, I mean, this is a daily chart, and we've had this nice trend to the upside here. This pullback here, it's, to me, it's corrective. This is a good chance that this is an impulse wave here. This was looking like a corrective pattern here, so we're looking for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave down here. It would be validated as a corrective pattern if this B wave top got taken out here as the A, the B, and the C. As you know, we were looking for 5 waves down here. We got our 5 waves down here. We wanted to sort of go long above here. And yeah, that seems to be moving up quite nicely. I think I looked at this on maybe minutes or hours or something or other. Let's just have a little look in here. Okay, so this is the little move up here, and obviously it looks bullish, doesn't it? And a couple of the points that I can see here is that this gap here would be when you've got wave 1 coming in and then wave 2 pulling back and then wave 1 and 2. So it's kind of like this little gap here is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 in here. So it's a third of the third in here. So we can see that we've got wave 1 on this top or this top in here, and then we'll have wave 2 in here. So we can bring that in here. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave here, the fourth wave here, and then this will be the fifth wave here. Now, I don't know if it's finished or not. It's a little bit tricky to read, but it probably got a bit more of a push up, and, you know, reaching up to number 8 here, we call 8 a profit-taking number. So we're likely to see some corrective pattern across this area here, some sort of move up here, some sort of ABC pattern here. You know, it could come quite deep, being a wave 2, so just be mindful of that. But then we'll push up again. Because we've got 5 waves here, that means after correction we'll get another 5. So that's all looking very positive, I have to say, at that point. Just want to see if I've got anything on the hourly chart. Okay, so yeah, I think that was, just have a look at this. Okay, that was for this chart, so that's okay. We can bring that in over here. We can bring that in over here. So it'll be something like this, you know. If you're not in this market, well, then you could buy the pullback, and you can buy the pullback based off, we've got this 5 waves here, because really, you know, normally I'd look for the B wave to be taken out here, but because this 5 waves here brings us up to the 50% or 60% of that leg here, that means after correction, another push up, that's going to take us, you know, above the 61.8%. So this is the beginning of a bullish trend to the upside, and so buying that pullback, which we'll keep an eye on, and we'll try to nail it down the best we can and get you in there, might be an opportunity to add a little bit more if you're into this. So we've got one here, we could add some more here, and we can add above the 80 here as well. So that's all looking quite good. So that should give us, you know, 5 larger waves up. So we'll be taking this top out here. So we're on our way to the dollar at least, you know. So that's a good move. And I'm just going to go back to the daily chart for a moment, and we'll just have a quick look at so this is the Sprott Uranium, which I like these dudes. They do a good job. So it's the same pattern. Do you know what I mean? So this is to me is just going one way, and that's up. Because this move here, I might even have this wrong here. I think I might, it didn't make a new high here, so it bothers me a little bit. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then the ABC here. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky. But anyway, it looking good for uranium. So we want to have a look at lithium, and these two stocks here, these are the $140, $150 billion stocks that are lithium. They're Chinese, and we've been looking at this one here. Now, the thing that I liked about this, as I've mentioned before, is that the angle of this coming down here I like a lot, and we've got diminishing volume. It's a little bit difficult to see on the daily chart, so I'll just make that a little bit clearer by going to the weekly chart. And the first thing that you can see here is the volume diminishing. So that for a trend to be a trend, it needs increasing volume, and this is diminishing volume. Sure, it could come down lower, but there's, this is what we noted in Bitcoin too. We could see that the trend down was pretty much drying up in the bigger picture, but I wasn't sure if it was the low or not. Kitty Upon, who does the crypto, he nailed it like perfectly. He was confident in that, so I have to take my hat off to him for that. He's done an amazing job. So this is looking quite good. So all I've been trying to doing is just to try to figure out from these lows here, do we have an impulse wave here? Are we seeing 5 waves up here for this market, Because there's some markets, like if I go to the other one here, where this other big stock here, it hasn't really given me a nice move down here. So in this particular instance, I might need to look at this as wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C here, but I'm still short. Whichever way I look at it, in this case, I'm still short 1 wave here. Just going to the daily chart here for a moment. Just see, I've got 5 waves down here, and I've got 5 waves down here. So I'm thinking for this one, I should have one more move down here, to have that 5 waves here. That's what I'm thinking for this one. The only other thing I can think of is looking at this as an impulse wave over here, but to have this as a corrective wave based on that, it's doable, but it just doesn't really have the right look and feel about it, So it's possible for some stocks to drop down here further, but there's definitely 5 waves in this move here. Or maybe I could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, maybe I can do 1, 2. Yeah, still there, isn't it? 1, 2. Oh, maybe I could squeeze it in. I'll check on that further. Anyway, I've got a bit of an issue here for this one. But what I wanted to have a look at was some of the US and some of the Australian. So this SQM here, this is another situation here where sure, we could push up here, but as a C wave here, this makes a nice B wave here. This makes a nice A wave and a B wave. And for a C wave here, we could look at this. I could go 1 in here and 2 here and 3 here and ABC for 4 here and have this 5 down here, and we have this in here, right? I can see that, but it's it's like you're pushing it a bit, Pete, but it's doable. I just feel that there should be another one down here, but everything is looking a little bit sort of positive to the upside there. So, and this one here, which is a NASDAQ one. So this one to me it's a little bit like uranium. It's got that sort of same pattern over here, but I can see that this is corrective with the A, the B, and the C here, So I bought some of this in here and rode this out, and we're back up here now because I had confidence in this situation. And this one here is really displaying quite a nice powerful move here. It'll hit up to 65 here, the medium level. Medium level is halfway between 2 major levels. So that 65 will play out here, but I think that it'll just react from here and then push up again from that point. But what I wanted to have a look at is to go back to this one here and just wanted to have a look at this. It's a little bit sketchy, but it does appear that that we can get 5 waves up. Like I said, it's a little bit dodgy, but 1 is clear and 2 is clear. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. I'll put this over here for that, for the 3rd wave. An ABC here for the 4th wave, and then the 5th wave. It's a little bit dodgy up here, but it is giving me everything that I sort of need here, even though it's not quite clear here. Now it just could push up from this point. I could look at this as an ABC, or we could pull back here a little bit further. But just investigating these stocks now on this move to the upside. This one that went up quite strong here. This is it here. It's also a little bit hard to count on the 15-minute chart, but I can see some things. I can see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here. That's good. I can see 5 waves in this one. I can see this is 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a bit of a third wave. So I think this has still got further to move along. Obviously, it's at the top of this trend here, and you can see it, like, you know, if we put a vertical line in here, you can see that it's like bowing away from that vertical. So, you know, it's getting tired, you know, but so it needs to rebalance, but it's looking all quite good. So I'll just flick through these Australian ones here that and see if we can identify anything. This looks like 1 and 2 and still needs a bit more to go here, but it'll stall at 90. So CX here, if we can get it. Well, this one's quite good in its own little way as well. We can see this is an impulse wave. This is definitely some third wave here, isn't it? You know, this is like an ABC for the fourth. So this is looking positive. Yes, it could be an ABC up here. So if you're going to go long here, you want to go above the $1.19 here on that one. Liontown is another one that we've been sort of focused on a little bit. So first of all, we've had this as 5 waves. Now it can be wave 1 or wave A, so you know we need to be mindful of that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for third wave. So we still need a fourth and a fifth here. So a lot of them are like this. So they seem to be at the top of their third waves. PLS here. This one here is chucked in a little bit of a wobbly because I could count here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then the ABC here. I suppose I could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Yes, I mean, it's not panning out that well, but it's giving me everything that I need in terms of a level. At this level, at $4 here, this is a medium level. We've got the arrival here, even though it sort of popped up a bit high, but that's good. The arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. So we should be looking at some sort of correction, and we'll get some sort of long trade set up over here. So we just need to be a little bit patient on that one. So I'll leave that at that for the lithium, but it is looking good. Just before we go to crude oil, I just thought we'd better have a look at this one here. So yeah, we've got it as being bullish. So all we need, I mean, if this is going to fail, I mean, the fact that it's taken the top out is bullish. I could look at this as wave A here with an ABC here for a B wave, and then come down here as an expanded flat correction. But the point is, even if it did come down here, it would be corrective and eventually would take that top out and that top out again anyway, but it's a long way to wait and all the rest of it. But you know, patient traders make more than impatient traders. It's simple as that, you know. So yeah, it's looking quite bullish with all of this. The more that it sits on here, on the 90 here this time around, it'll help confirm this. Because this overlaps the top of this here, there's no other way to label it except 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So the other one here, one that we'll look at for the stock, this one here is the same as well. So we can look at this as this one's moved up higher here than this one. So this one here is sort of stuck at 90 for a bit here, but this one here is pushed a little bit higher. So to me, this will just keep climbing here. So that's a real positive play for this. This is corrective here, so that top should get taken out. So there's a lot going on here in terms of calling it bullish for oil, you know. And you know, we're starting to see the stock market turn. They, you know, oil and industry sort of go together. So the industrials are moving up really quite high as well. So the industrials as a sector have been one of the better ones. Can I see it here? Yeah. So this is partly why I'm thinking that we've got a low in for the S&P 500 too, because this, you know, with the S&P, with all these sectors, we've got this industrial sector, which is quite strong because it's at its old highs over here. The S&P is still down here. The communication sector is still down here. There's some in the banks are about in the middle here somewhere in terms of sector lineup. But here, you know, I could look at this here as down for the A wave here, then an A, B, and C here for the B wave up here, right? So all I've been waiting for is that top to be taken out here, because if that top gets taken out here, then I can't call it the B wave anymore. I would be looking at this here as a bullish move to continue to the upside. So we're very close for that. So that's, yeah, so the industry, you know, it's looking good on that side of things. So coming into crude oil here, we looked at this here being the low in the market, and we had a bit of a scruffy old 5-wave move here for this here. This would need to be viewed as an A and a B and a C here, which is a little bit, which sort of threw me out, made it a little bit sort of dodgy in this case. But there we go. We've the low is held. We've taken out the 50-60%, which was through here. There'll be an opportunity to move into this here. We just need, we'll see something play out. These old highs over here will pin it back. So we'll get something up here and something back again, and then a push up again from that point. It won't be spending long here, but there will be something here. If it's going to run away on us and just continue to move to the upside there, then we'll look at the top of group 1. So if the top of group 1 here, the $83 mark here, if that becomes the tested support, then it's not going to come back to this level, okay? So normally this would fade. This is like a third wave in here, whichever way you want to sort of count this. This is definitely some third wave in here. So we'll look for a fourth and a fifth that can take us up to 82, 83. It can go above 83, but, you know, finding support, if it finds a tested support on 83, then it's not coming back to 80 at that point. So that's looking very positive at this point. No, we also have to be a little bit mindful that this could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, but I don't think that's the case when I'm looking at the stocks, you know, the ETFs and so on, the stock side of the market. And natural gas, well, that's amazingly continuing to trend down. And last time we spoke, we were looking for the low of the third wave here. This trend here has not been corrected, so we'll see some sort of correction here, but you can quite clearly see that we have wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. Is it possible, I was wondering, to put wave B over here for that and look at this as an A and a B and a C wave up here? So I'm going to keep that in mind, especially when we see this rally here, because if crude is going to go and everything else is going to go, then we've got a good chance of pushing this up at that point, you know. And the other thing we need to do, I've got this labeled as an A wave and a B wave, and there'll be a C wave with 5 waves here. Which, you know, can also be completed at this point here if we look at this as an A and a B and a C wave here. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, but it's not really, at this stage, I can't call it as wave 1 down here and 2 here and 3, 4, 5. It's possible and doable, but it's not there yet. I mean, whatever the reasons are for pushing this down here, you know, those powers that would be have done their job, you know, to make things affordable again, which is fantastic in a way. Well, I think it's just fantastic. So, yeah, anyway, we've got that sort of low there. I think we were looking at this on the 1K tick chart here. I haven't had a good chance to update this much here, but I have been putting a little bit of effort into it at some point, so yeah, so I don't particularly want to put wave 4 here and wave 5 finishing down here. That's not going to work for me at this point, so this, I'll need to look at it in a different way. It looks like it needs to be that though, doesn't it? It needs to be sort of put there. Just got to go back. If you don't know the count, it's always good to go back and just check. Let's just check on this for a moment. Could I label this any differently? I could drop wave 1 down to here. That's doable. I could do that, just toying with this. if I've made a mistake, it's in here. But still, that wave 1 and wave 5 seem to match up quite nicely. And then this is 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That all looks pretty good. So where's this coming from? It just looks too small to call wave 4, you know. Got a bit of an issue here with this then. I'm not seeing any impulse wave to the upside, but we could have a low in here for this. Anyway, I'll just monitor it a little bit further. I mean, these sorts of things normally start to bounce at this. They should be pulled down to this number, but in its defense here, the support will be 33.1 and 3.2 and 3.3 here, 3.10, $3. I forget that it's in US dollars, but 10, 20, and 30 here are Group 1. So it's going to be support. It's going to get bouncy around here. So we'll just watch it for a little while. But there seems to be 5 waves down into that point, so we're going to see some move up from here. Okay, just be aware of that. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.